Hello everybody, welcome to my Friday video. As you already saw in the opening cards, it's a painting that is inspired by the word Jules Verne. So just like all of the rest of the week, I did get a word from my dear friend Tina, and I took it as an inspiration to make a painting with it. And for Friday she chose Jules Verne, which is very, very cool because I love to read, I love stories, and Jules Verne was a pretty cool author. And I did like his world building quite a bit, so I decided to take one of the stories that he wrote and make a painting with a scene of that world, which is what's the English word? The trip to the center of the earth. That story is what I took as the world that I wanted to have a painting done with. So I started off with sketching out my scene and then went over all of the lines that I needed with a permanent ink marker, and then got rid of the pencil lines that I didn't need anymore and just started coloring. So I'm using quite a bit of water here. I want the color to blend on its own a lot, especially when it comes to the background. So on that scene here, you're pretty much in the volcano in a cave, and there's just this ray of sunlight coming in. If you saw the movie or if you read the story, it's pretty much to the end of that story when we are in that scenery here. And I just wanted to have a very loose, very moody kind of a background, so it took quite a while to let the water dry in between steps. I started off with the sunny section and then went on to the background of the cave, not the overhang that you can see on top, but the stone sections that are underneath or been in the background of that, and also underneath that overhang there. For the midsection of the stones there, I did take quite a cool gray. I mixed brown and blue together, made my own very cool gray, and then only added a bit of black and a cool brown a bit more, just to shade things towards the edges and have the color be way lighter towards the center where you do have that ray of light coming in. For the overhang section, I did use a warmer gray, meaning I did just change up the blue there and also added a tiny bit of warm brown. So normally when I mix gray with watercolors, I take a warm blue and a cold brown and mix my gray there, and if I want a warm brown, I have to switch or I have to add a bit of warm brown to my gray mixture as well. If I want a really cold gray, like I do in the lower section here of that painting, or the midsection of the piece of paper here, I do change up things a tiny bit, meaning I do take a cold blue and a cold brown instead of a warm blue and a cold brown there. So I'm just going bit by bit and fill in the whole section of the overhang, and then I'm shading it a bit, adding a bit of black just towards the edges again to have shadow there, or shadow sections. And for the lower part of the painting, I did use a bit of an olivey green, which is a warm blue and light ochre mixed together. I do use the same colors that I used in the upper section in the grays, just a color repetition. It looks way more harmonic to the eye, though it's a different color, but the colors that I used for mixing them together, they are in other sections of the painting as well. So towards the outer sections of the painting again, especially underneath the mushrooms on the right hand side, I did add a lot of dark brown just to shade things, and then I'm using that warm blue on both the mushrooms on the left hand side and the right hand side to have my base color, and I will add a cold purple to the right hand side mushrooms as well. I'm having them on the outer edges, so the top of the mushroom cap there is more blue, the lower section is way more purple. It's just the way the mushrooms are colored. The shading will go towards or it will be in line with that light section in the midst of that painting. So I'm shading from the left hand side towards the right hand side, so the left hand side is way darker of those mushrooms, and for the shadow I do use the same dark cold brown that I used throughout other sections of that painting. And once I have that done, I'm just shading the stems of the mushroom, and then it's time to sign it, and that's my piece for this week. If you want to see lots of close-up photos, hop on over to my blog. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow on Taco Clock, so you can have a behind-the-scene video of my studio work. And I will see you next Friday with a new painting. Have fun, thank you for watching, and do all the good YouTube stuff. Bye!